Hello and welcome to Construction Business TV. Today we are with Miss Allison Hay from Houston Habitat for Humanity. Hello, Miss Hay. How are you doing today?
Well, fine. It's so nice to meet you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for talking with us today. My first question today is: can you share with our audience what your title is at Houston for Habitat for Humanity and
I
what
am.
your responsibilities are?
Thanks. I am the executive director for Houston Habitat for Humanity, and my responsibilities are very overarching. So I'm responsible for the construction of new and helping repair homes. We also work with Restore. We have places where we're able to sell some goods. We have a training program, and we've got an awesome team that helps us with our mortgages and getting our homeowners into homes.
So, what inspired you to join the Houston for Habitat team? Like, what drew you to that organization?
I'm a native Houstonian, and Houston has changed a lot. And I've always seen that while we are growing, and we're the fourth largest city, and we're in a county that's the state size of Rhode Island, the need to be able to support healthy housing in a growing metropolitan area like this is a need that I felt like I could help with. I know our Houston community, wonderful, hardworking people, and I felt that that's a job that I could do to contribute to my community.
Awesome. And how long have you been with Habitat for Houston or Houston for Habitat?
Uh, in July, it'll be 8 years.
July. Oh, wow, it's been a long time. And have you been an executive director that whole time, or did you have a different position before that?
I've had a career in retail, and I've had a career in fundraising. And so when I got here, I was the executive director.
Just so for our audience that maybe doesn't know a lot about Habitat for Humanity, can you explain what the mission is for us?
So we all know, if you've seen pictures, everybody knows that Jimmy Carter is one of our number one volunteers. And Habitat for Humanity brings homes and community and hope to the areas that they serve. There's over 1,200 habitats in the nation. So there's a lot of opportunities for home ownership across the nation.
And I know that a lot of the workforce, I assume, comes from volunteers for the projects. But my question is how do you go about promoting or creating awareness about Houston for Habitat?
So again, we are a great philanthropic area. We've got a lot of hardworking volunteers here. So we are able to have volunteer opportunities on our website. We promote them that way. We promote them through businesses, people that want to come together with their business and give back to the community. But we really also have just great Houstonians that see a need, and on their spare time, they'll come out, they'll help us build, they'll help us work in our community gardens, or they'll help us at the Restore.
That's awesome. You mentioned Restore. Can you explain what that is real quick? Like what that is and what the purpose of that is for?
So think about it. So when you build a home or you build anything, you always have materials that are left over. Back in the day, Habitat felt that it was important for us then to repurpose those donated items. And currently in Houston, we have 2 restores that have new and donated items that are able for the community to come in and buy at an affordable price. We've got one on the West Loop, at West 34th Street. And our big one, which is 25,000 square feet, is 6161 South Loop East. And we just launched a brand new online restore that people can go to from the comfort of their home and purchase unique items that way. All the items that they buy, all the funds that go back, the profits go right back into building more houses for Houstonians.
Awesome. So I know this past year, 2020 was a rough year with the pandemic. What were some challenges you faced, and how did you overcome those with what was going on?
So, as we all know in the construction business, construction is an essential business. And to be able to do work to build homes for families, we continued, but at a much slower pace. So our volunteer opportunities went from 25 at a house down to 6, but we had 6 volunteers. And so we slowed our pace down, but we still kept building for Houstonians, and we still kept the restore open, but at a much more restricted pace. And it was important to us for us to continue to serve our mission, because Houstonians were suffering. A lot of them lost jobs and moved in with family, close quarters. So any way that Houston Habitat could help with housing, or to help you with items at our restore that would help you with your repairs or DIY at your home, we felt it was vital for us to continue to do the work, even though we were all masked up and socially distanced.
Okay. And then also, I know beginning this year, we had a lumber price increase or material price increase. I also like to ask how you dealt with that challenge. And, luckily now that they're going down, it should be easier. But yeah, how did you deal with the material shortage and the increase in prices with that?
Well, I think anybody who's built anything or gone to Home Depot to buy a piece of plywood knew that the prices went up. Houston Habitat saw that price creep early on, and we pre-bought the materials for our builds when the prices were lower in 2020, and that helped us keep our prices at affordable for homeowners. We also knew that any lumber that we get, we don't get discounts that way. People don't donate lumber. So we were using our dollars wisely, and we've been strategic about it. And I am praying that the prices go down a little bit more before we buy more lumber for the fall builds.
Okay. So you're saying that you buy lumber. Do you have a specific supplier you get it from, or do you just get it from, Home Depot, Lowe's, or wherever you can, or do you have like a specific supplier for
Great
your?
question. So Houston Habitat, you should consider them a home builder. So we go through, just like other bigger home builders do, we go through the mills directly, or that's where we place our orders, just like all the other home builders, because we
Okay.
don't build just one house at a time. We're building 10 to 20 houses at a time.
And okay, follow up about that. 10 to 20 houses. Is that like per year? Or like, I guess so per year, you're building about 10 to 20 houses.
Yeah. So in the affordable housing market in Houston, we should probably be building 3 to 5 times that many. We have so many families that need housing, but for our time right now, coming out of disaster upon disaster, our goal is to be able to provide 20 new homes for homeowners annually.
Okay. Okay. And I was looking on the website about the home ownership program. Is that how people apply for those houses?
Yes. So consider if you've always lived in an apartment and your parents lived in an apartment, and you've decided now that it's time for you to gain your wealth by being a homeowner, you really don't have, there's no knowledge. There's no books out there that tell you this is the steps that you take. Houston Habitat has a home ownership program that will take you step by step on ways to improve your credit score, to lower your debt, to save money so that you're able then to make a down payment and get your escrow account and be able to pay your mortgage. We do all of that for our families. Our families, we are hardworking. They have a lot of drive. What they need is a hand up, an educational, financial hand up to learn how to do best practices so that they too can be a homeowner just like all of America. For most homeowners that we have in our program, their dream in life is to have a safe, healthy, affordable home for their family. So that's what we provide for them, that education and the support to be able to achieve their goal.
And who provides the education? Do you have like employees that you hire from different like companies that like have specialties in that, or like how does that work? The education, and then just like where do they go to take classes, like that kind of stuff?
So we are a very diverse city. We have lots of languages. We also are really big. So we use a lot of partnerships and ourselves. So we partner with other organizations that do financial literacy. Houston Habitat offers classes in financial literacy. We use banks. What a great source, right? Because they know a lot about how to have a healthy financial portfolio. We ask our partners at the universities to also contribute. We also know that everybody's a different learner, so you're going to be listening to it a couple of different ways from different presenters, so that you're the best way for you to learn. We've got your way. There's not one way to be a homeowner. There's not one way to learn. And another thing I want to say is we have a lot of different languages in Houston. We have the ability to help our different language Houstonians in different ways by doing online classes that are actually translated into the language that they're most comfortable in. So we've got them covered. We want them, if they have a dream of becoming a homeowner and helping for their family, we will help them get there.
And so in part-time classes, do they also participate in the building of the home as well?
Yes, our homeownership program is about a 200-hour investment. So they'll do 50 hours of financial literacy. They will spend 100 hours doing construction on their home or their neighbor's home. And then they do 50 hours of what we call pay it forward, where they invest in community opportunities to volunteer and help our community get stronger.
Okay, awesome. So I noticed that there's a new new community being planned, Robin's Landing. So that's gonna be part of that program as well. And how
Oh,
many
yes.
houses is that gonna be total?
So Josh, that is the biggest investment and exciting times for Houston as a community. It is 127 acres that we are developing. When we finish, we'll have 468 single family homes on the ground. They'll be built by us and with 2 other builders as partners. We're going to have parks, over 500 multifamily and senior apartments, a community area where we'll be able to have a garden, commercial kitchen. We have a healthcare partner that's coming in. The library is planning to open a library branch there. A lot of exciting times off of Tidwell using that land. And it is in the city of Houston, and good news, it is not in any of the floodplains.
Awesome. Do you have an expected completion date for that community? And can you let us know what that would be?
Well, let's keep our fingers crossed, but within 5 years, we should be complete with our project.
Awesome. And then is it move in immediately or just graduate over time or?
So we are doing what good developers do, which they do it in phases. So we expect to have our groundbreaking and all of our infrastructure in by this time next year. And so you should expect houses to start being seen by the end of 2022. And then for the single family partnerships, for the builders, we're building at a very good clip, and we'll be able to offer those homes on a regular basis, 468 of them.
Awesome. I also looking at the website, I know there's you offer job training or related skills. So that's you said, I think you said that's for anybody that wants to do that, correct?
Yes. So
And then,
go ahead.
Continue.
So what we noticed after Hurricane Harvey, there was a desperate need of individuals who had skills for residential construction. We didn't have enough people to repair their homes, and we had that expertise. We work with volunteers all the time, so we created a residential construction trainee program. It's 40 weeks, and it's a paid program. So people that are interested in learning a skill, they like to be outdoors and they like to work with their hands, it's the perfect place for you to learn how to be a residential construction person. And we go through a class. By the time they leave, they'll have knowledge in all the basics of residential construction: roofing, flooring, all the walls, painting, all electrical, HVAC. They'll be certified with the Home Builders Institute certification. They'll have an OSHA 30 certification, and they'll be forklift trained. And at the same time, they get paid. So it's a wonderful way for you to learn a skill if you're interested in that type of work.
And do you employ people out of that program into your organization also, or is it?
Well, good news, we have, but we also want them to do what they want to do. Our dream is to be able to give someone, just like home ownership, a skill that they're excited about. So Habitat has hired a few of our trainees. We've also had our partner builders with the Greater Houston Builders Association been placed into other construction jobs. And we've had a few that are very entrepreneurial spirit, and they've started their own businesses. So what we want to do is to be dream builders and to help people achieve their goals. And yeah, if they'd like to come and work with Houston Habitat, that's definitely an opportunity that I'd love.
Awesome. That's awesome. That's amazing. Um, so when you were get a workforce or volunteers, how many employees of volunteer ratio usually is there at a site? Because I mean, you have
Great
to,
question. Yeah, so on new construction, we'll usually have a house lead for every 10 volunteers. And a house lead is a person who is an expert construction person employed by Habitat that knows exactly how to guide and mentor people who've never had construction skills. So a lot of our folks that come out, this is the first time they've ever been on a construction site and know the process and flow. We're able there to consult them. And what I'm really excited about is that we have our core volunteers. These are individuals that are in Houston, hardworking Houstonians that volunteer their time, and they have gained the certification from us of being core volunteer. So they are expert volunteers that are on the ground with our volunteers as well. So how fun is that? You go out to a build site, it's set up for you, ready to go with all of your tools that are COVID prepared, sanitized. We get on our aprons, you get to meet homeowners that are working on their sweat equity through construction. You get to have core volunteers who are volunteers just like you that you can have conversation with. You have expert Habitat employees that guide you to make sure you're safe. And you have a great day. I will say you may be sore in muscles you didn't think you had, but what a great way to spend and contribute back to our Houston growth and vitality by building homes.
awesome. And also in regard, how many employees do you currently have employed at Habitat Houston for Habitat for Humanity right now? Just like, did you lose some over COVID, or did you hire them back, or those kind of things?
So pre-COVID, we did have more employees, and I think the coming back, we will have that same amount as well. Houston Habitat's retail stores have slowed. We've reduced the hours, so we don't have as many retail staff as we have had before, and that was a smart business on our part so that we can be financially secure in what we're doing. But currently we're about 5 employees away from where we were from our pre-COVID time. So by September, we should be up to speed with about 85 employees.
Okay. Speaking of financials, with the budget, where does that money usually come from? I know some of it comes from a store, but is there any place else it comes from?
Sure, just like all other successful, healthy businesses, especially nonprofits, we do amount of fundraising. We also we are our mortgage company. So for us, the homes that we have already partnered and sold with our homeowners, they are paying us back monthly. So we have a revenue stream of our mortgages. We have the restore, and then we do write grants and solicit donations from volunteers. So our revenue stream is multi-pronged and keeps us healthy.
As a philanthropic organization, what sets you apart from like the usual general contractors or any other corporation-owned construction companies?
That really is a good question. And so think about it from a mission-driven homes, community, and hope. So for us, whenever we build with the customer in mind, which is homeowners or people who are looking for repair. So when we do things, we do it at a very high quality with the materials that we have. We're Energy Star. We invest our materials into the home at front so that they, as the homeowner, will have the most affordable um, home ownership process, lowering their energy bills. And the money that we invest in them, we consider that a economic savings, not for Habitat, right, but for the society, because we have more homeowners that are able then to pay property taxes. So for us on our end, we just we look at building as a different way. We look at it as a mission directive to be able to provide a wealth building opportunity. That's what home ownership is. You're able to gain wealth to our hardworking Houstonians. Profit is not what we consider. What we consider is how many homes that we have, how many homeowners we can get in, and how we're able to do that in a sustainable model so that Houston Habitat, we've already been around for 34 years, will be around for 34 more years, building more homes and helping more families.
Okay, and I know, so we're Houston Habitat for Humanity. Is there anything that sets you apart from the other habitats in the nation? Like, what is there something like that you're proud of that only Houston has done?
Well, I'll tell you, I am a Houstonian, so I'm very proud that we have the best volunteers in the nation. We have the most philanthropic city in the nation, and we've got the smartest businesses, because our businesses, whether it's medical or energy, we are all cooperating, especially during times of stress like Harvey, Amanda, winter storm, pandemic. You see Houstonians coming together to help all of us. So I'm very proud of our city and our county, and I'm very proud of the way that Houston Habitat is able to make partnerships and support and serve the way that Houstonians expect us to do.
Awesome. So I was looking at the strategic plan recently, and there was a term there. I wasn't really sure what it meant. It was a super ham. I'm
Thank
really
you.
I was so curious what that was about, because I saw it popped up a couple of times. So just for me and for our audience, if we look at that, we can know what that stands for.
So our strategic plan is our roadmap for the future. And again, with Houston Habitat being entrepreneurial and spirited to do the best work, SuperHam stands for scale up, expand, reach. So we're talking about doing more and going farther. And we keep that in our kind of our Northern Star, so that we understand we have a lot more work to do. There's a lot of need out there for affordable housing. Let's do it smarter, and let's get out there and do more.
Awesome. So the one I looked at still had the goals for 2019. Do those goals still stand? Because I know 2020 would have been a hard year with everything. So are those goals still the same one we're reaching for, or is it like, are we going to update those, or are they updated?
So we update for 2020, but actually, to tell you the truth, that we sold, again, we talked about 2020 is the number we did for homeowners, and 20 is the number of houses we built in 2020. Again, essential businesses, you can see that the reason they're essential is because they're important and in need. And we continue to work on our processes, which we're doing now. And in the strategic plan for 2020, we talked a little bit more about pivoting, right? So that we had our office staff being able to work from home. So what does remote work look like that? And for our nonprofit, Hurricane Harvey really stimulated us to be able to get our office, our back office, our financial folks to be able to work from home in case of power outages and things. So when the pandemic hit, we were able to pivot, but they worked from home. We did essential construction work, and we did the restore. So it really made us stronger. We made lemonade out of lemons, I think. But I think it's because we are disaster ready in Houston to do those things. Now, 2021 is going to be very exciting because we're starting Robbins Landing. And with Robbins Landing, you're going to see us be more of a community builder versus a home builder. So look forward to that, because that's what we want to be. We want to be building communities of homes in partnership and creating hope for others.
Awesome. Speaking of being disaster ready, that big freeze we had a couple months ago, was there a lot of habitat homes affected by that where you had to do repairs or was,
Yeah.
no?
So Houston Habitat's homes have a lot of insulation in them. I'm just going to tell you, Josh. We plan for these houses to be able to withstand a lot of stress, and we had very few Habitat homes that needed us to be able to help with pipe repair because they had their insurance and they were up to speed. So they were just like all the other homeowners with that are healthy. They had their insurance. There were Houstonians that still did not have the ability to get their water back on. And through the support of our philanthropic community, Houston Habitat is still helping those families get back up to speed with their water is running, and now we're putting their sheetrock back and getting their kitchens ready.
Okay, I think we're just about out of time. I just got a notification from Zoom that we're almost out. So I want to thank you for talking with us today. We basically got through every question. So, I mean, that was amazing. I'd love to have you back on CBTV to talk more in the future. But yeah, I mean, thank you so much for talking with us today.